My number one movie on the year is a little movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once. You might have heard of it. My girlfriend and I went in to see this movie, and it was kind of like I thought the poster looked interesting. I think it had a high Rotten Tomatoes score. I said, hey, let's check this out. This one seems fine. And she said, oh, yeah, sure, all right, whatever. It wasn't like a big deal. We didn't go in with high expectations or anything, and we're just completely blown away by this movie. I was not expecting it to be this good whatsoever. And I think it's weird where it kind of got this grassroots kind of campaign. I feel like a lot of people have, it's almost become a meme of like, hey, this little movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because it obviously is very popular now. But there was a point when that wasn't the case. It actually started off relatively slow at the box office and got bigger once it came out on streaming, and kind of maybe could be a new world a little bit of when it's a little bit more accessible to watch. People are more likely to go out and see it in the movie theater, where it was able to have a extended shelf life, and just kind of grew organically from word of mouth more than anything. I definitely felt like once I saw it, I'm like, more people have to see this movie. How is no one talking about it? And then, at a certain point, everyone was saying that because everyone was talking about it. But that's just kind of what makes it fascinating, as it just continued to grow and grow and grow. The plot of the movie itself is a bit convoluted to talk about, but when you're watching it, it is not confusing at all. You follow it very simply, despite the fact that it is very complex and doesn't do a ton of explaining. There isn't a ton of these exposition scenes. There's some, because you have to have some in a sci-fi movie like this, but it does not go crazy with it. It trusts its audience, and that really works out to its benefit. But the plot of it is essentially you have a woman played by Michelle Yeoh, who is essentially just, sort of a down on her luck laundromat owner, only to find out there's a Matrix type situation where she can jump in between universes and her life is in danger. That's all I'm going to give you if you have not seen it already. Definitely very Matrixy, but in a much more goofy way, a much more sort of absurd humor, which I do have to say, that's kind of the one way I could see you not enjoying this movie. If you aren't someone who loves that sort of absurdist humor stuff, I could see you not having as much fun with it. I personally really enjoyed it. All the humor absolutely worked for me, and it worked. It's part of the plot. It's not just something people do to do it. There's actually very legit reasons for why all that is the case. So that's part of what I liked about it. I mean, this is cleaned up at the Oscars so far. There's 11 nominations, including Best Picture, Score, Directing, and then, 4 actors have been nominated for it. You have Michelle Yeoh, you have Stephanie Hsu, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Hee-Wai Kwan. Sorry, I think I Ki-Wai Kwan. I think I mispronounced his name. Sorry about that. But very impressive performances by all 4 of them. And Kwan appears to be a lock to win for a supporting role. Wouldn't be shocked if Michelle Yeoh won as well. I'd probably give it to Blanchett, but I wouldn't be mad if Yeoh won, because that would just be more fun, I think. And really, to me, this feels like it should win Best Picture. I have it as my number one movie of the year, so obviously I feel that way. What makes this movie work, I think there's a few things that make it work. For one thing, part of what you want to do when you're making a movie is get the audience to feel like they're smart, while at the same time they understand everything that's going on, which is a difficult balance to pull off. How much information do you give the audience to where they feel like they're solving a puzzle, while at the same time you're making sure you give them every puzzle piece and letting them know where they go, but just not letting them realize that that's what you're doing. That's kind of the struggle. And I think this movie pulls it off perfectly. I don't think that there's really any issues with this in terms of, like, I never felt like, okay, that's just a pointless dialogue scene you're having, or a pointless piece of dialogue you have just to get the information across. When they, when characters give information, they're doing it because it makes sense in that spot for a character to give information. And then they sometimes just say, hey, you'll figure this out. We trust that you're going to understand, we have the scene happening. You'll get what's happening. And that worked for me. This movie takes a ton of chances with the different universes going in different directions, without getting too into spoilers. I mean, I could name maybe a couple right away that would, if you've seen the movie, probably make you laugh just by hearing it, because of how many different fun universes it goes into, while at the same time maintaining a sense of realism within the world that we have, that has been set up for us, which is what makes it, I think, work so effectively. It's just a fascinating movie, and it's fun where when you see a movie directors take a big chance and have it work like this. One thing you can definitely tell just from watching the movie is how long they spent on the script, going through it, making sure every aspect of it worked. This was not rushed in any way. They took their time getting this to work and getting the script to be exactly where it had to be, and it would not have worked if it didn't do that. So because of that, I think that's part of what makes it so effective. Also, the heart elements and the feeling elements of it absolutely worked. They worked for me. So you have something where awesome action scenes in it. You have something with interesting topics to talk about. It's sci-fi elements, but it's also about, what's it mean to love? What's it mean to live? All these topics. What's it mean to be a raccoon? Plenty of things that this movie goes into, while at the same time all maintaining a silly and goofy tone and making you laugh throughout. So it's really, I can see why it wouldn't work for everybody, but it seems like it works for most people. And when it works, it really works. That's why I have it as number one on this list. Very excited to see what Daniels do from here. So it's weird. Gotta talk about the Daniels. So Dan Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the names. Not great. If you watch my football channel, names are not my name pronunciation, not my thing. But apparently they want to go by just Daniels, not the Daniels, because they feel like, well, they're not the Daniels. They're just, some Daniels. But you can't just go Daniels. That doesn't work. You can't say it was directed by Daniels. How many Daniels? Which Daniels were they? You have to at least say some Daniels or directed. That's why you're the Daniels. Okay, you can't just do Daniels. It doesn't work that way. But yeah, no. Fantastic film. My favorite of the year, easily. My favorite, maybe, in recent memory, not just of the year. So that's kind of what I thought. But yeah, what did you think? Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? Obviously, getting a ton of buzz. I'm not sure if it's on streaming anywhere. You might have to purchase it for rent. I'll check that out real quick. Oh no, it's on. It says I believe it's on Showtime. So it's on Showtime if you want to check that out. Also, it says like some other things I think, but I think it's weird where because it'll say it's on like Amazon Prime, but then you go there and you have to have Showtime to watch it. Sometimes they get a little tricky there, but it's at least on Showtime. It might be on some other stuff. So you definitely check it out. It's a great movie. Definitely worth a watch. That's what I thought. And at the very least, if you haven't seen it, watch it, because it's gonna get a lot of attention, and there's gonna be a lot of references of it. And for the pop culture of it all, it's worth watching there. So yeah, check it out if you haven't already. That's what I think about it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.